Hi, I'm Teal Keller, a communications specialist with Hope Alive. I'm conducting a series of brief interviews with one of Hope Alive's board members, Will Kirchner, on some of the opportunities available to his boomer counterparts for using tax-advantaged giving strategies. Today, we will be talking about donor advised funds, or DAFs. Will, can you tell us briefly about yourself?
Hello, Teal. I'm a retired engineer from the oil and gas industry. Um, During retirement, I've chosen to spend my time with faith-based organizations who are advancing the cause of Christ in the world. Hope Alive is one of those. I've been involved with Hope Alive since 2015, and I serve on their board of directors in a planning function.
Thanks, Will. Why are you interested in DAFs?
First of all, I love DAFs. My wife Pat and I have had donor advised funds since 2012. Um, we use it for much of our charitable giving. Uh, we find it to be convenient and advantageous to enable our giving, and DAFs can be tax efficient. And More than just my boomer counterparts, DAFs are available and helpful for all age groups.
Oh, that's great. So how exactly do DAFs work?
DAFs allow somebody who is charitably minded to make contributions to a fund, and that's a donation, then advise on how those funds are distributed. A charitable contribution is accomplished by making a grant, uh, which the fund then approves and sends via check or electronic funds transfer to the organization you've selected. For instance, Pat and I support several missionaries monthly, and also organizations monthly through our DAF. We also give one-time gifts to organizations, educational institutions, or charities that we want to support. In fact, something fun that we started this year is to sponsor a Hope Alive child for every one of our grandchildren. And Hope Alive has made the connection in their databases for the family of that grandchild to have the communication and the encouragement responsibilities for that child, while Pat and I underwrite the sponsorship cost.
I love that. So how can a DAF be tax efficient?
When you make a contribution to a DAF, you're giving the money away. You're giving it to an organization or a fund that the IRS sees as charitable. And so you're allowed to make a itemized deduction for the contributions you make. Uh, Giving highly appreciated assets can save you on capital gains tax. You can also contribute items or things that you think may be less fungible, less immediate opportunity to turn into money, like cryptocurrency, stock certificates, or things like that. If you might be on the threshold of itemizing deductions, and I believe that's 13,000 for single filers this year and 26,000 for joint filers. This allows you to make a large contribution to a donor advised fund in a tax year, to itemize your deductions during that tax year and take the advantages of that. And then in the off years, you would claim the standard deduction. Over a period of time, you can save hundreds to thousands of dollars in tax cost by using a DAF to support your charitable giving.
What is the minimum donation required to use a DAF?
Uh, I don't know that there is a minimum. So somebody that is young, you may want to start with $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever. Um, uh, and and for the financial institutions, they may have a threshold that is advised, but but they are there to support the philanthropy of the people that use their services. And so I'm not aware that there is a minimum threshold.
Hmm. Where do you find a DAF?
Most of the large investment firms have a DAF. For instance, Fidelity, who we use, has Fidelity Charitable, and Vanguard, Schwab, all those guys have DAFs that people that use their organization for investment can also open a DAF. And then, in fact, there's a Christian DAF that primarily supports Christian causes and is available for anybody.
What is the name of that DAF Christian organization?
Let me think. That is the National Christian Foundation, NCF. Uh, and you can find it with an internet search.
Are there any drawbacks to investing in a DAF?
The money's not yours anymore. If some people might consider that a drawback, and it's not returnable. So you've given it away. But people that are charitably minded are taking a long view with their resources. They're really being Matthew 25 stewards, right? And so finding a they're going to give regardless of whether it's convenient or helpful to them tax wise.
Mhm.
And so a DAF is a good way because it's out there, you can direct it. It's just not yours anymore.
So how might a DAF connect to being a living legacy?
I love the concept of living legacies. Because in so many cases, we think about our legacy as something that we leave when we pass. But I think I want to enjoy my legacy while I'm living. And so what I will do is I will make some of the contributions that I would might otherwise make in an estate plan through while I'm still living and enjoy the benefit of those and the opportunity to have communication around those with the folks I love, the ones I hope to leave my legacy with.
What are your three favorite things about using a DAF for charitable giving?
I have way more than three, Teal. But the three I'll talk about, I think, are year-end giving. So often year-end giving comes at a rush when you finish your tax estimates and your counselor may say, hey, you need to up your charitable giving. Well, in the rush of the year end, that decision doesn't sometimes sit well. And so giving through a DAF allows you to make that contribution, and then your decisions about charitable giving can be made later. Let me see. The second thing might be um, that you can invest the funds that are in your donor advised fund uh, for growth. In my case, I'll often invest with kind of a balanced portfolio approach. But over the course of the time that Pat and I have had our donor advised fund, I would say that growth is probably doubled or tripled the size of the fund simply because of investment opportunity. The third thing would probably be it's an emotional thing. So it's really freeing in my heart uh, to be giving away something that's not already mine, right? It's not mine. I tend to give larger gifts. I tend to think more strategically about giving, and it kind of reminds me that everything we have doesn't belong to us. It is God's. And so how to distribute it for his glory and for the good of those he loves um, is something that the DAF really gives me an opportunity to enjoy.
I love that. I can tell you're definitely a fan of DAFs.
Yes.
How can people find out more?
Great to talk to your financial advisor, your CPA, your tax consultant. They will have outstanding counsel on this. The institutions that you may hold investments with can have great content. Internet searches, just be careful. Use sources you would trust, the financial institutions, the Vanguards, Fidelity, Schwab's, those guys all have fantastic content on DAFs.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk about DAFs with me today, Will. We are so grateful to all of our generous supporters who allow Hope Alive to have an incredible impact on students and help fragile families flourish. You can check out more of our special projects on our website and find out more about how Hope Alive is serving families by following us on Facebook and Instagram.